Ken Jennings continued to host the Jeopardy! Masters 2024 on Friday. However, fans were shocked when the game show host kicked off the event with a risque joke. On a show that is supposed to be family-friendly, many people couldn't believe Jennings made such a joke. So, what did he say that had Jeopardy! Fans so stunned? Keep reading to find out. The Kids and Parenting category on Friday's episode of the Jeopardy! Masters 2024 brought along some not-so-family-friendly jokes from host Ken Jennings. Viewers tuned in on ABC to watch the fourth round of two quarterfinal matches between contestants. In Game 1, the three lowest-scoring contestants went up against each other. Matt Amodio, Masha Roach, and Amy Schneider had each only earned one match point. Amy finally got her first win in the tournament. Before that happened, though, Jeopardy! Host Ken Jennings made a rather surprising comment. Under the Kids and Parenting category, a clue read, "Regression in this process when you thought it was done is frustrating. But remember, no one walks down the aisle in a diaper." The correct answer for the clue was, "What is potty training?" Under his breath, Ken Jennings said, "Unless they're into it." No one saw this NSFW comment coming. Masha Roach busted out laughing, covered her face, and clutched onto the podium in an attempt to keep it together. Jeopardy! Fans on social media went wild over Ken's comment. Many people pointed out that he took a clue based on family and made it take such a raunchy turn. One viewer wrote on Reddit, "No one walks down the aisle in a diaper unless you're into it, Ken Jennings." Another commented, "I am still cackling at that. Can't recall Ken adding on to a clue reading like that before, but it was spot on." A third person joked, "They teach you that in school in Utah?" A fourth viewer chimed in with some food for thought. "So ableist. Lots of people have incontinence issues and still get married," they wrote on Reddit. As mentioned above, Amy landed her first win in Season 2 of the Masters. She ended with $36,001. Masha ended the game with $18,000 and Matt with $16,000. Game 2 saw Victoria Gross, Yogesh Raut, and James Holzhauer face off against each other. Fans have loved to see these three go head-to-head. They have arguably been the most enjoyable to watch during the Masters Season 2. What a game! Incredible. These three are head and shoulders above the other three. One fan wrote on Reddit, "Game 2 is one of the best Jeopardy games I've ever seen." Another person agreed. For decades, Jeopardy! Has maintained a reputation for being one of the most intellectual and polished quiz shows on television. With its fast-paced format and challenging questions, it has captivated audiences with its blend of intellect and entertainment. The show's tone is typically one of formality and respect, with host after host carrying the mantle of dignity. However, during a recent episode, Jeopardy! Fans were left shocked when guest host Ken Jennings made an offhand comment that seemed completely out of character, a dirty joke that quickly went viral. Ken Jennings, who gained fame as the Jeopardy! Champion with the longest winning streak in the show's history, is no stranger to the spotlight. Following the departure of the legendary Alex Trebek, Ken has stepped in as one of the show's rotating guest hosts, earning widespread acclaim for his respectful and knowledgeable approach to the job. Yet, during an otherwise routine episode, Jennings veered away from his usual demeanor with a quip that had fans reeling. The comment, which seemed innocent enough in the moment, left viewers divided, with some laughing at the unexpected moment of humor and others questioning whether the joke crossed the line. As the dust settled, the comment sparked an online frenzy, with Jeopardy! Fans flooding social media to react. Was this an intentional attempt to lighten the mood or a poorly timed slip-up? Read on to discover the full story behind Ken Jennings' shocking, dirty joke and the ensuing social media frenzy. The moment that shook fans. The incident in question occurred during a standard Jeopardy! Episode, which began like any other. The contestants were engaged in their usual routine, buzzing in to answer questions, and Jennings was performing his duties as the host with his characteristic poise and precision. However, everything changed during the Double Jeopardy! Round. The clue in the Potent Potables category read, "This dirty drink is made with vodka, tomato juice, and various spices. The answer, of course, was the well-known cocktail. What is a Bloody Mary? As Jennings read the clue aloud, he paused for a brief moment before making an offhand comment that immediately caught the attention of viewers. He looked into the camera and said, with a grin, "Well, it's not that dirty, but I guess it's all relative, right?" At first, it seemed like a harmless play on words, as Jeopardy! Clues are often full of puns and subtle humor. However, in the context of Jeopardy!'s typically reserved tone, this moment stood out as particularly risque. The slight cheekiness of the remark was enough to make some fans laugh, but for others, it felt out of place in a show known for its intellectual rigor. The social media frenzy. As soon as the episode aired, the internet exploded. Fans flooded social media platforms, from Twitter to Reddit, with their reactions. Some viewers found the comment humorous, appreciating Ken Jennings' unexpected foray into comedy. Others, however, questioned whether the quip had been inappropriate for the show, feeling that it strayed too far from the program's traditionally highbrow nature. On Twitter, the hashtag #KenJenningsDirtyJoke quickly trended as users expressed their thoughts on the moment. Some fans tweeted their approval, commenting that Jennings had brought a welcome bit of levity to an otherwise serious show. Ken Jennings just proved he's got the best sense of humor. Jeopardy! Just became a little more fun, one user wrote. However, many viewers were more critical, with some finding the comment uncomfortable. I love Ken Jennings, but Jeopardy! Is about knowledge, not dirty jokes. Let's keep it classy, one tweet read. Another user remarked, that joke was so out of place. I come to Jeopardy! For intellectual challenges, not awkward humor. The debate raged on, with some even accusing Jeopardy! Of stepping away from the respectful tone that has made it a beloved fixture on television. The show has always been about wit and class. This feels beneath that, said one comment in a Reddit thread that discussed the incident. Despite the polarized reactions, the moment became one of the most talked about events in the history of the show's recent guest hosting era, sparking conversations that went beyond the usual trivia discussions. The aftermath. Jennings responds. In the wake of the controversy, Ken Jennings took to social media to address the situation. Always known for his wit and humor, Jennings' response was both self-aware and lighthearted. He tweeted, "Apparently, I'm the first Jeopardy! Host to make a dirty joke. Not sure if that's a distinction I'm proud of, but hey, everyone has a bad day, right?" The tweet was met with a flurry of responses, both supportive and critical. Some fans praised him for his ability to take the incident in stride, while others questioned his professionalism in light of the remark. I love Ken, but I don't think the fans of Jeopardy! Want that kind of humor. Keep it about the trivia. One user replied. Jennings' ability to acknowledge the comment without escalating the situation helped defuse some of the tension. He didn't apologize outright, but his response seemed to convey that he recognized the sensitive nature of the moment while also remaining true to his sense of humor. For many fans, this seemed like a reasonable approach. The debate over humor and Jeopardy! The incident raised an interesting question about the role of humor on Jeopardy! The show has always relied on a dry, intellectual humor that is often subtle, with its jokes usually embedded in the answers or the clues themselves. Ken Jennings has, in many ways, embodied this style, blending dry wit with informative delivery. This rare slip into something more casual and edgy led to a broader debate over the evolution of Jeopardy! The show's format has remained largely unchanged for decades, but its guest hosting phase has brought in a mix of personalities and styles. While Jennings is beloved for his knowledge and quick wit, his comment introduced a question about what fans expect from the program. Should Jeopardy! Stay strictly intellectual, or is there room for humor that's more contemporary and lighthearted? Some fans argue that, while the show has a long-standing tradition of intellectual rigor, it's also important to evolve and adapt. Humor, in its many forms, can help make a show feel more accessible and engaging, especially as it competes with other forms of entertainment. Others, however, believe that Jeopardy's charm lies in its consistency and respect for knowledge, and that any attempts at humor should remain within the show's intellectual boundaries.